Welcome back to your epic journey to alchemize your life. In the last video, we talked through the car analogy with you as the driver's seat. In this video, we're going to dig a little deeper into your new Alchemist product as the vehicle that you have chosen to use on this journey. You'll learn more about the hemp plant and the cannabis plant and how we can work together with its natural healing powers to give our bodies the tools they need to thrive. And you'll get the foundations for how to work with your new products to achieve the best results. It's no secret that the cannabis and CBD industry is growing in popularity and people are seeing amazing results. There's plenty of research proving its positive effects, countless success stories, and even FDA-approved drugs for cannabis-based compounds. At this point, the taboos around cannabis are starting to fade away and are being replaced by a desire to tap into the health-promoting effects that a seemingly magical plant contains. So let's jump into the beginning about the science behind the cannabis plant and why this plant works so well inside our body. If you've ever taken an anatomy class and remember it, you're probably familiar with the major systems inside the body that allow us to carry out our everyday functions in life. We were taught about the circulatory system and how our blood shuttles around essential nutrients, or the endocrine system and how it releases powerful chemicals known as hormone. Or you might know about the immune system and its job of holding pathogens and fighting off diseases that prevent us from being sick. We also learn about these systems that work together in one to create a healthy body and help us function at the optimal levels. Science has proven that these major systems inside our bodies are all tied together and all affect each other as one system. It can impact the others and imbalance other areas when one system is out of balance. But one system that has almost always been left out is the endocannabinoid system. You may or may not have heard the term cannabinoid. A cannabinoid is a naturally occurring chemical substance found in cannabis and also naturally occurring inside our bodies. They impact a wide range of functions including pain, stress, appetite, and sleep. Cannabinoids bind to receptor sites inside the body, which together make up what scientists call the endocannabinoid system, a vital system that scientists didn't even really know about until the early 1990s. They discovered that this system plays such a major role inside our body and that it helps regulate and balance our immune and nervous system. What this means is that when a person's endocannabinoid system is not functioning properly, we may experience symptoms like anxiety, stress, compromised immune health, excessive inflammation, pain, and the list goes on and on. Over time, these imbalances can eventually manifest themselves into other major health problems such as cancer, arthritis, Parkinson's, PTSD, and so much more. So let's dive in a little deeper to learn a little bit more about how this works. When a person has a healthy endocannabinoid system, their bodies naturally produce what is known as endo or internal cannabinoids. These cannabinoids are known as 2-AG and anandamide. It's important to understand that you produce your own cannabinoids naturally inside your body, and your body was already designed with these receptors that specifically bind to these cannabinoids to carry out these essential functions inside your body. Cannabinoids are even known to be found in breast milk and are an essential part to our overall health. So let's talk about the two receptor sites inside the body. The two receptor sites that scientists have discovered that bind to cannabinoids are called CB1 and CB2 receptors. The CB1 receptors inside the body are found mostly concentrated in our central nervous system and therefore play a huge role in our ability to be resilient to handling stress and also to stay calm. When our CB1 receptors have the right amount of cannabinoids and are functioning properly, our autonomic nervous system drops into what we call a parasympathetic state. This state is known to be the optimal state for our bodies to rebalance and begin healing in the way that they need to. When these CB1 receptor sites are not getting the cannabinoids they need, we start to see the symptoms arise in our nervous system, and you might notice more anxiousness, irritability, and even an imbalance in our overall mood. Over time, if this is not addressed and addressed correctly, it can cause breakdowns in our nervous system, which can lead to more serious health problems and disease. The CB2 receptors inside our body are mainly linked to our immune system. One interesting fact scientists have found is that you can find CB2 receptors on every single one of your immune cells inside the body. This demonstrates just how important these receptor sites are to maintaining a healthy and functioning immune system. When CB2 receptors do not have the cannabinoids they need to function properly, we will begin to see breakdowns in the immune system. Our immune system is vital to our well-being and is how our body is able to fight off pathogens, bad bacteria, and disease. When our immune systems are unbalanced over time, it can lead to things like autoimmune diseases, cancer, and more damage from viruses and bacteria. Now that we know how much our bodies rely on these cannabinoids and how much that we already produce them naturally inside our bodies, you may be thinking, well then why would I need to take extra CBD or cannabis? Well, the fact is that most people are deficient in producing their own internal cannabinoids and have an unbalanced endocannabinoid system. The major factors that contribute to a cannabinoid deficiency are diet, exercise, and most importantly, stress. With all that's going on in the world today, I don't know about you guys, but it's almost impossible to avoid stress completely. So what do we do about this? This is where we learn to speak the language of the plant and understand its innate healing powers so that we can tap into them. Over the last several decades, scientists discovered that the cannabinoids found inside the cannabis plant are able to mimic and perform the exact same functions as the cannabinoids that we naturally produce inside their bodies. The cannabinoids in the cannabis plant combine perfectly with the receptor sites inside our bodies and can help bring balance back to your system. It was as this plant was magically designed to help us regulate and balance our own body's needs. In recent years, scientists have identified over 100 cannabinoids inside the cannabis plant, which bind to either the CB1 or the CB2 receptors like we spoke of earlier. You may have heard of the two most popular cannabinoids inside the cannabis plant, THC and CBD. THC is known to bind with our CB1 receptors, which play a major role in servicing our central nervous system health. THC is also known to have psychoactive effects when used in higher dosages and can sometimes have the effect of calming your nerves down, but also at too high doses can do the opposite. The role of CBD is totally different. Researchers have discovered that it does not actually bind to either the CB1 or CB2 receptors, and its major role is actually to help facilitate the activation of the other cannabinoids that are present inside the body. Scientists have also discovered other cannabinoids like CBG and CBN, which interact with both your CB1 and CB2 receptors to help regulate your immune and nervous systems. Now that you know the important role of these cannabinoids, what should you look for then inside of a hemp or cannabis product? Well, if you've ever tried cannabis or CBD before and you didn't receive results, it's likely because not all CBD and cannabis products are created equally. Unfortunately, around 97% of the products on the market are sourced from the same manufacturers, same mass-produced farms, and use the same formulation and the same ingredients. The downside with the craze in CBD and cannabis is that it's attracted a lot of companies and people looking that don't really fully understand how to work and formulate with the plant, and they often tend to cut corners to cut costs, which means lower quality hemp, lower quality CBD ingredients, and the extraction practices that produce the most cost-effective products instead of the best for people's overall health. Another major reason why people don't see results from taking CBD products is due to how they formulate their products. Earlier, I just mentioned that CBD doesn't actually bind with any of the receptor sites inside your body, but it rather works as a catalyst to help facilitate the activation of the other cannabinoids that are present. The majority of the products in the marketplace use only CBD isolates or highly refined hemp oil, which do not contain these other essential cannabinoids and plant parts that our bodies need to actually heal. At the ALCHEMIZE, we formulate products to hit all of the receptor sites inside the body so that people can get the most out of their products. We farm our hemp on a small regenerative agricultural-based farm in Colorado, which focuses on the quality of the soil and the nutrients that are essential to grow the best hemp. Our farm goes far beyond the certified organic standards, with our primary objective being to grow the healthiest, most nutrient-dense plant possible. I say all this to you to make sure you know that the product you will be using throughout this transformative journey isn't just any product. It's a finely tuned luxury vehicle that will get you to the destination you want to go. I hope you'll use your Alchemist products to their maximum advantage as you add the practices that we'll be covering in the upcoming video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the video 4.